you guys are able to come to that, that would be awesome. Okay, awesome. We are going live stream. We are live now on YouTube. Thanks everyone for the team helping doing that. So yes, our Eventbrite, our meetup is this Sunday. The whole team is going to be there. So we would all like to meet you guys. You guys could help spread the word. If you guys know any investors in Colorado and you think that they would want to come, please let them know. And then our herd of profits. Let me go to our Facebook page. We have our herd of profits page, and our name is herd of profits. We have a lot of people in that community, and we have our links to our lead forms and everything like that, but we will want you to fill out the contact form. So I have to pull that up. So I will put that in the chat soon, but then we also have these Zooms every Friday at noon, and then on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. And we go over agent outreach, LOIs, underwriting, comping, you name it. But I'm also going to pull up Angie's YouTube as well, because that has all the feeds. Like right now we're going live, and all of the recordings will be there posted. So if you guys haven't subscribed, if you could give some Angie some love in the chat, that would be super helpful. And like subscribe to her YouTube channel, because all of our lives that we're doing here are recorded, so you guys can go back and watch them. And then today we will be going live on just like calling, and you guys will be able to start calling and taking some action. And then Dylan and Joey will give you guys some feedback on your calls as well. So we see a lot of new faces. Dylan, whenever you want to take over is fine. If you're not ready, I can keep going. But nice to see some friendly faces. We see a lot of repeat people that are here, so thank you for always supporting us. And then we see a lot of new people. So I'm going to steal this from Dylan. I know he likes to do this, but if you guys have not been here, can you guys put in a 1 in the chat if this is the first time you guys are on this Zoom? I know we just did an elephant challenge, so there's probably going to be quite a few new people on. No new people? First time? Okay, we got some 1s in the chat. Okay, I'm going to put our link to our meetup this Sunday again for new people that just showed up. We have a sub 2 meetup this Sunday, the 24th, from 9:30 to 11. We're going to have some food, some prizes, giveaways, activities. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All the details are in that link. If you could RSVP, that would be amazing. Dylan, let me know when you are ready to go. But are you guys ready to make some calls today? Yeah, I see some head shaking. Okay, great. Yes, okay. I'm glad you guys are excited. That is not my forte.
Sweet. Are we ready, Rach?
I'm ready.
Okay. Did you already do like the Facebook and YouTube, all that stuff?
I did the YouTube and Facebook. I just have to find the contact form and post that. So basically, if you guys want to do a JV with us, or you guys need help with your leads, in order to get into the Facebook group, it's a lot easier for us if you guys can fill out the contact form. So when you guys click the Herd of Profits, I really would we need you guys to answer the questions. And then we'll let you into the Facebook group. And then that has access to all of our lead forms, some contracts, LOIs, a lot of resources for you guys. So if you guys could please fill out the contact form, that'd be amazing. that was my last thing that I had to say. And we got some new people in the chat.
Okay. And then, oh, it looks like we're live on YouTube.
We are, yes.
Okay.
So we are ready to go. Dylan,
Easy
you
enough.
take over now.
Okay, sweet. Well, yeah, thank you guys so much for showing up. We're stoked to have you today. So yeah, our Friday Zooms, we generally pick one topic and go into depth. So today what we wanted to do was just give you guys examples of making calls live, underwriting, negotiating, pitching subject to. So that's what we're doing today specifically, is just targeting low equity subject to. We're going to be calling agents live, getting the 4 pillars, finding out what the seller's motivation is, the condition of the home, and seeing if they are open for us to send them an offer. And then we'll go ahead and send them an offer live. So hopefully you guys are excited for that. Let's see. So you guys are everybody who is a part of our Facebook group, if you could type 1 in the chat. If you have no idea that we have a Facebook group or how to find it, if you could type 2 for me. That's probably the easier one. JP doesn't know what the Facebook is. JP must have came in a little bit late. No worries. So yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen real quickly with you guys. So this is our Facebook group. It's called Herd of Profits. Let me drop it in here real quick. It looks like everybody's a part of it, but there's a couple of people that aren't. So for those of you that typed 2 in the chat, or you just showed up late, make sure you join the Facebook group. You have to answer the questions that it prompts you to answer when you hit join, or else we will not let you in. And then it will prompt you to sign up for our to be a part of our team. So that's this form right here. So whether you're new or you're an OG, please fill out this form so that way we have you into the CRM. This is the only way. If you haven't filled out this form, you can't send us leads. So if you want to do JV deals with us, if you have leads you need help on, you have to fill out this form first, and then it will prompt you to other forms to then submit a direct to seller or a direct to agent lead form. Let's see. I'm going to mess it up, but Dashenka, do you have a question?
Yes. Hi. I thought I did that already, and for some reason, when I went on to Facebook, I couldn't find the little tab that had the group, the Elephant Challenge tab.
Okay. So it's going to be in this feature tab, or right here. If you're on discussions, it'll be up here, or you can come to the feature tab right here.
Do I get to it from Facebook?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why. I see Pace's Facebook. You know, when you go onto your Facebook, you see all the groups that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point I was seeing my group, I was seeing the group, and I could get in it through that directly that way, or I could just, the only reason why I got here is because I already had the tab open. But
right. Is this
what is your first and last name? Is it the same that you have on your Zoom account right now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see you as a member, so
I'll have to make sure. I'll have to look in our system to see if you did the contact form, but I just dropped the contact form in the chat. So if you could fill that out, then we can get you into the Facebook group.
Okay, thank you. Because I know I joined this group, but as far as Facebook, I don't know why I'm not in already.
It's probably because you didn't answer the contact form. So we need you guys to do the contact form, what Dylan was saying. So if you guys are not in the Facebook group, please do the contact form, and then we can get you into the Facebook group.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sweet, easy enough. All right. Alex, because you got to tune your headphones up, man. I don't know.
I would hit the test, like, so at the bottom left, there's like the mute button. There's like an arrow. I would hit test the speaker and the microphone and kind of play around that, because everyone can hear us. So I think it's a technical issue on your side. That would be the best advice to give you. Or if you got headphones, take them out. Right? Everyone can hear us. I think it's only, yeah, thanks, TV.
Okay. Sweet. So yeah, make sure you guys are part of the Facebook group. You have to answer the questions when you're prompted to join, or else it won't let you in. So make sure you do that. And then make sure you guys go subscribe to Angie's YouTube channel. That is this one. I'm going to drop the link to that right now. So go subscribe to Angie's YouTube. Refresh. We got 8 people on YouTube right now watching, so that's awesome. So yeah, we are going to make some live calls today. So first of all, again, if you guys aren't a part of the Facebook, here's why you need to be. So we have a script for calling agents. So for all of you guys that are a part of it and you want to make phone calls, make sure you come in and download this script. This is what it looks like. If I can find it. So this is it's more of an outline. It's not necessarily a script, right? But you want to build rapport, you want to have a good relationship with that agent, right? But in no way is this a cold call, right? You're calling a real estate agent that has a listing. These people want to sell. So it's not a cold call. They're expecting your phone call, right? These agents, for the most part, I would say at least 50%, are waiting for the phone to ring, so that way they can accept an offer, show the home, whatever. So it's not a phone call, right? But you want to be kind. Thanks so much for answering. I have a hard time of getting a hold of agents lately. The purpose of your call, right, is we're looking for rental properties. Okay, so we're not saying, hey, I'm a wholesaler. Hey, I do sub 2 deals. I'm just saying, hey, I'm looking for a rental property. I work with a team. We're just looking to add some properties to our portfolio this quarter, this month, whatever. Some great questions to get the condition, timeline, and price, right? So condition's easy, price is easy because they're on market. So we can see what price they're listed for. We can generally understand the condition of the home from the pictures. Motivation and timeline are the 2 most important, right? So this is a great question. What's got the seller interested in selling, right? So that's an alternate question to essentially say, why are they selling? What's got them interested in selling? What happens if they don't sell? That's a great question. What's your seller's timeline? That's a straight up question you can ask. Do they need to sell in 30 days? Or do they have time on their side? What am I missing here? Why isn't this sold? What I don't do, every phone call I have with an agent, I never say, hey, I've seen this has been listed for 130 days. Why hasn't this sold? They know, trust me, they know how long it's been listed. So never mention how long it's been listed. Don't ask them, why. I mean, you can ask them, hey, it's a beautiful home. Why do you think it's not selling? But don't say, hey, it's been on the market for 90 days. Why do you suck at your job? Basically is what you're asking. So don't do that. Never mention the days on market unless you're asking, this is a beautiful home. I'm just wondering why it hasn't sold. Is it the market? Is it the interest rates? Is it the condition of the home? What do you think? And that's a good question because they'll let you know, like, well, there's tenants in there, so they can't show it. Or maybe it smells a little bit. It's a little funky on the inside, so that's why it doesn't show well. Right. So let them know once you get your 4 pillars, so price, timeline, condition, and motivation, that you'd like to send an offer. We send offers in multiple different ways. We can do cash, we can do conventional. But the reason this came on my radar is because I see they don't have the most equity. One of the ways we help clients in that situation is where we offer to buy the property subject to the existing mortgage. Are you familiar with that? Have you gotten that phone call? Have you received any offers like that? Right. So present the idea of subject to. You definitely want to make sure they're prepared for what type of offer you're going to send. So don't just say, I'd like to send you an offer. What's your email? And hang up. That's not horrible, but ideally you mention subject to and use it in a sentence. Like, don't say, hey, I want to send you a sub 2 offer. Say, I'd love to send an offer where I buy the property subject to their existing mortgage. Are you familiar with that? Blah, 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 blah. Set a follow-up call. That's fine. So that's the bottom of it. And my headphone died. 1 second, guys. Okay, we're back. Right. So ask how it's going. You can say I'm an investor. What I like to say is, I can't edit this, but I'm on a team that buys rental properties, or just, I'm a buyer in the area. I try to refrain from using the word investor right off the bat, because that tends to put walls up for the agents. So just saying, hey, I'm a buyer, I have some questions, or hey, I work on a small team. We buy some properties and turn them into rentals. Right. So if I were to purchase this with cash, this is a great line too. If I was to purchase this with cash as an investor, I'd be looking to pull my money back out. So really, we save our cash for fix and flips, where I can force some equity, sell it, pull my money back out. I'm not sure that this one is the best fit because it's in great condition or whatever. And then have you had a conversation with them about selling on terms, or has anyone presented the idea of paying their equity and just taking over their mortgage payments, something like that? So and then go into explaining sub 2 as well as you can, right? So that's what we talked about as well. For you guys that don't maybe understand subject to at a high level, essentially, right, I just want to pay them their equity and take over their payments. As simple as that.
Okay.
Some of you, if it's not today, in the future, will get the question, oh, is that assuming? Are you talking about assuming their mortgage? What I say is it's very similar to assuming. The only difference is I simply just take over the current loan. I don't apply for it. We just leave the debt as is, and I start taking over the payments. And there's multiple reasons for that. Now, if an agent starts asking you high level questions that you're not sure the answer to, just defer it. Hey, I'm a little bit newer, so I can't answer all of those questions. What I'd like to do is get your email, send an offer, and someone on my team with those answers will give you a follow-up call, right? So your first call should be 3 to 5 minutes tops. We're not trying to answer high-level objections. We're not trying to close the deal on that first phone call. It's like build some rapport, ask some questions, get some info, and then get their email. Let's send them an offer first, and then we'll follow up and try to close later. So let's see, we got some questions. Jen. You're muted, I think.
Yeah, with those first few, I've kind of gotten in the habit of just when it's on MLS, just having it comped before I call the agent, because I guess I've gotten a little attitude in the past. It's like, well, it's on there, So as far as like the condition, timeline, price, I feel like I kind of get it's online. So what are you calling me? What are we talking about?
Yeah, you'll get some of those agents. The majority of them will be more friendly. So prefacing your phone call with, like, right off the bat, hey, I'm a local buyer. Or I'm a buyer that, has a few rental properties in the area. I'd love to send you an offer. I just have a few questions first, if you don't mind. So preface it like that, right? Like, first off the bat, I'd like to send you an offer. I just have a few questions. The pictures look amazing. Is there anything else I should know about? Is there holes in the roof? Is there dead bodies in the closet? Whatever, you can make them laugh. Conditions easy, knock that out. Price is also easy. I see they're listed, if they've done some price drops or not, right? Is there any wiggle room in their price at all? And most importantly, like I said, is timeline and motivation. And those two tend to go hand in hand. So what does their timeline look like? If, one of my favorite questions, if they've been listed for a while and they're not open to subject to, what happens if they don't sell? You'll get, well, they're just going to turn it into a rental, which is fine. One way to handle that objection is, okay, are they familiar with being landlords? Do they like that idea? Try to push on that pain. It's not fun being a landlord if that's not your job, right? If it's just something you have to do, you're not really going to like it. So I would just preface your phone call like, hey, I just have a few quick questions. Don't want to take up too much of your time. I'd like to get an offer in front of you, something like that.
Okay. I have a live one. I'm sorry. I had to take the call right when you started talking.
Oh, gotcha.
So an agent that I just sent an LOI to before this call, his seller, who has she literally whispers on the phone. I've been talking to her since April. She called me fired up, so insulted, and said that my agent said he's not even going to respond. He's not even going to reply to you. It was like a 7% down payment. And there was there was zero interest on the LOI. I mean, that's where in PACE training, like we're really taught to start, right? Like zero interest unless the seller's got something in mind. She just basically felt like I was trying to steal the house from her, and suddenly like all the motivation that she had expressed back in April was like, I don't need to sell.
Right.
So I'm kind of curious, like the next step with the agent, or, I let him sit on market. She's not acknowledging right now that she tried to sell the home in the past and it wouldn't sell. Now it's been on market for 7 days with this new agent. So to him, it's brand new property. It's only been on market 7 days. Why would we make a deal? So I just left her with, I absolutely think if you can sell it on market for the amount of money you're asking for, go for it. That is the best option for you. But I'll tell you what, I'll check in with you in a month. If you've had any trouble selling it, I want to help you transition to your new home. I left it at that. So I just leave it at that and check in with the agent later, and maybe he'll forgotten that he was so insulted by our offer by then.
I would say so. Your best negotiating tactic, hands down, is time. That's your best negotiating tactic. Yeah. So if they're insulted by your offer, I think that's obviously let them know, hey, we may not be your first choice, but for sure we'll still be here in a month if you haven't gotten your price right. So, also these terms are open to negotiation. Feel free to shoot me a counter offer if you're interested, and we'll see if it can make sense for us. But yeah, by far your best negotiating tactic is time. And then on top of that, a bad deal is worse than no deal. If you spend so much time negotiating with a seller that will never accept your offer, you're just wasting your time. You're better off just moving on to the next one. So yeah, I would say let them sit for a while longer.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Dashenka, do you still have a question? Okay.
Yes. I have something that I found listed, and it's just empty lots. It's infill lots. How would I do that?
That's a great question. That's not really what we specialize in. You would have to comp it, figure out what other investors are paying for lots, find a developer to wholesale that to. So you have to find developer connections. A lot of developers have sort of left the market, probably if not 50% or more, because the cost to build a home is so much more expensive and people can't afford new builds with interest rates that high. So I would say land flipping, unless that's all you focus on, is going to be tough. So I would say either just focus on land and get really good at that. We're probably not the best group for you, or like focus on single family. That's what we do. So single family creative finance. Okay.
Yeah. Cause my other one that I found was, it looked like maybe there was something there, and it's, in a residential, and it's, has a driveway and a mailbox, but there's like nothing. It's a empty space.
Right.
So, is there another group that would be better at doing the land?
Not that I know of. There might be, but
Okay.
I don't think a ton of sub-2 people are focused on land, just because developers, there's so many developers leaving, especially single family one-off. Like you can get 50 acres in a gray area. It's also just hard to wholesale land. So just not our expertise, unfortunately.
Okay. Family. And the LOI, didn't you have that letter posted for us at one point at the last Zoom? You put it in because I tried to I clicked on it and then just put it down, minimize it, and I'm like, I lost it. I don't know if it goes away when the Zoom stops. So I would need that letter. Where else could I get that letter when I need it?
That's in the Facebook group. So again, if you in the Facebook group, you can download it. And then we'll show you how to fill that letter of intent out today.
Okay. Thank you.
Sweet. Thank you. And then Robert, last question.
Thank you. So you started this conversation with when talking with the realtor, mentioning motivation and timeline is two key things. Well, this is my first elephant challenge, and Pace Morby left us with homework, which was to contact title companies that are friendly to creative financing and ask for their pre-foreclosure list and call 100 of them. So doesn't that fit in like a shoe and a perfect fit for what you just said, starting the whole thing off?
It does. It does. So foreclosures make great leads for cash and creative. So we do market to foreclosures, but we generally do like text message campaigns instead of calling. It's fine. It's totally fine to call, especially when you're starting out. Your marketing cost is $0 besides your phone bill. It's definitely a great idea to call those, and we can help you convert those leads. But for today, we're going to focus on already on market, low equity. That's just our bread and butter. That's what, how we've done a lot of business this past year. So that's what we're going to focus on today.
So the just as an addendum, what you just said, so it appeared to be one of the key things to learn somehow is to kind of subtly, learn how to educate the realtor with finesse, I guess, into, it may take a follow-up phone call or something, but we're going to have to get past that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it only is going to come with practice. There's no magical wand. So just making a ton of phone calls, getting hung up on, messing up is the only way to do that. So that's what we wanted to show you guys today.
Thank you, sir.
Right on. Thanks, Robert. All right, guys. So let's go ahead. I'm going to drop a link in the chat real quick. So this is on market low equity. I know you guys can't see my screen. In Alabama and Oklahoma. So those are the two states we're going to be looking at today. Let's see, share. Copy. All right, so I got the link ready for you guys. So let me just see by maybe if you guys want to make calls, whether you're good at it or not, I encourage, like, maybe you've never made a phone call. It doesn't hurt to try, right? Like, what would happen, right? Nothing. So if you guys want to make phone calls, type 1 in the chat for me. And then if you just want to listen to other people make phone calls, that's totally fine too. So I'll be making calls. We have Kaon, Dimitar, I'm sure I said that wrong, Jen. Okay, so we got a few people that want to make calls. I will also be making phone calls live as well too. So I'm going to drop the link to this here right now. So if you guys look at the chat, I just posted the link to these leads. So if you go ahead and open this up, I will show you guys what it looks like. So this is the form right here. Okay, so this is the lead spreadsheet. So you can see these addresses, they're all kind of mingled because how I have it organized is by equity. So from top to bottom, this first one, 102 Crest, is your lowest equity because it shows they have negative $280 or $68,000 in equity. Something's probably wrong there, but you have some with $50,000 negative. And then they start to go positive here all the way up to $126,000 in equity. I tend to try to stay under 70. So I would say everybody start here. And then before you guys make calls, if you have your phone ready, don't make a call just yet. Yeah, Steve. So you'll have to get in the Facebook group and download that script. Let me see if maybe I could drop it in the chat as well too. Nope, I can't do it. Not sure why. So for you guys, the first thing I like to do is come in and copy the address, and then I'm going to throw it on Zillow. Number 2, Birmingham. So this is just land. So not sure why it's showing me land. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove that one. That makes sense why it's so negative. Delete row. So let's see, 7701 Wilshire Boulevard, Oklahoma. Another lot in land. Interesting. Hopefully I did not mess this up. These are all lots. I'm going to be embarrassed. Okay, so here's our first one. Let me go ahead and delete this one. So you can see, here's the address. I wanted to show you guys how to read this first before you make your first phone call. But you can see, right, they're asking $384,900. They owe $396. So they're underwater for sure. They're negative if they sold and they paid 6% in realtor costs. We're assuming 10%. They're going to pay around 10% in realtor commissions and closing costs. That might be a little bit high of an estimation. So they might be negative 40, negative 45,000, give or take. But you can see, right, they have a conventional loan with a 4.5 interest rate. You can see the agent's name. So it's Matthew Mogan. And then here's his phone number as well, too. So sometimes if you check Zillow, it also has it right here. So Matthew Mogan, you can call him from Zillow. You can find their number on the list as well. And lastly, if you can't find it or that number is not working, what you can do is you can copy their name. Let's pretend the phone number is not there. You can copy the name and their brokerage and hit enter. And then you can usually find it right here. So here's his number as well, just by a quick Google search. So that's the best way to do it. Real quick, Sandra, do you have a question? Maybe not. I can't hear you, Sandra, if you're trying to speak. All right, guys, let's save our questions for after. So I want to go ahead and get started. We're going to start making some calls. So for those folks that typed 1 in the chat, you want to make calls. Let's just pick. So we are looking at equity. That's column R. So pick any below 70,000. So not everybody start with 1. Some people start, we have up to 88. So some people start at 79, 64, 50, right? So pick just a random one and go from there. Throw it into Zillow first before you make that phone call and still see if it's a house, right? We want to make sure we're calling single family homes and that it's still active. It's not pending. It's not expired, all of that good stuff. So, all right, if you guys are ready to make phone calls, we can go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do is everybody's going to mute. I'm going to make phone calls. I'm going to mute. If I get an agent on the phone, I'm going to unmute. Okay, so you don't have to raise your hand. Just feel free to unmute and have your conversation. Try to get it to where we can also hear the agent speaking. But if someone else is already on the phone call, obviously don't unmute. Just go with your phone call, finish it out and let them know, hey, we'd like to send you an offer, all that good stuff. Follow the outline we provided. So. All right, so I'm going to start making calls myself. So I'm going to go ahead and mute. And I'm going to have my screen shared with you guys so you can see at least what I'm looking at.
Julie. Yeah, I'm not an agent, actually a buyer in the area. My assistant actually sent me this property specifically because it's near about 5 of our rentals. Can you kind of just tell me a little bit more about the listing, how it's going? You guys got a lot of showings, a couple offers on hand?
Right now, and we'll either go conventional or if someone is VA eligible with the benefits, we will do that. But we're not going to do the assumable unless they do have the VA benefits.
Okay. And have they talked to their lender already? Because they might still have a good amount of entitlement left. I buy from a lot of VAs, do a lot of subject to, a lot of cash, seller finance. What a lot of VAs don't know is sometimes they have more entitlement than they thought they did. So just
They do have Sure they do. I'm not worried about that. The
Okay.
thing is that if you miss a payment, they lose their benefits. And that's why he's not willing to do that. He doesn't have to move out. He's moving out in December.
Okay.
So we've got plenty of time. We're not in a big rush. I've had quite a few sub-2 people call me on it.
Okay. What if I added a performance deed stating that if we ever missed a payment, which we never have, over our large portfolio that includes over 100 doors, what if we added a performance deed stating that if we did miss a payment, the property would just get deeded right back to him? No foreclosure process, no attorneys involved. He just goes and records that performance deed at the county for like $20, and he gets the house deeded back to him.
I would consider that. You're the second one who also said this as well, just so you know.
Okay.
It would depend on the offer. You also have to come up with cash. He owes 363 and he wants 387.5.
Okay.
So I'll leave that up to you, but he has to stay in the house through mid-December.
Okay, that's fine with us. We do a lot of post-closing occupancies, especially with veterans. I'm in the middle of a closing right now, probably like 4 miles away. And he doesn't leave till January. So that's perfectly fine with us. Correct me if I'm wrong. If he were to get his price today, traditionally, he's maybe going to lose a couple $1,000.
He's not.
No? Okay. I just have on my end that he owes like 370 almost.
363.
Okay. Okay. Do you know what a good number in his pocket at close would make him feel comfortable with going this creative route?
I would have to ask him.
Okay.
The 397.5 is what he wanted. I mean, if you want to forego your side of the commission, that's fine. The commission that I have right now is very low on both sides. And that's why we're able to have him walk away with something.
Okay. And what is your commission on it?
2.5%.
2.5. Okay.
Mhm.
Sweet. Yeah. I'd love to pay agent commissions. I think you guys work so hard, and I think you deserve 6 on every deal. So my parents are agents too. So I'd love to get you paid.
Go below 3% on my side. But
Good. Good for you.
you won a year that is, for a veteran, where I do lower if, they're going to be upside down. So.
Okay.
Uh,
Awesome. Well, I will send you a letter of intent, and I'll put all the verbiage in there of what will come at close, that will add a performance deed. I'll put a frequently asked questions page about subject to, just in case you or the seller may have any questions that could come up. It should answer most of them on there. And I'm more than happy to jump on a call.
What I'd also recommend is if you're going to offer this, is letting it stay there either rent free until December 22nd, or I'm just telling you what would be nice for him. For low rent. He's right now his mortgage is 1,700.
Okay, 1,700, and that's all in.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm throwing that out. I'm telling him I don't recommend doing one of these right now because we've got time and he's got lots of guys on base that are interested. I just printed out some stuff for him to take to base on Monday. So
Okay.
it has to be a pretty sweet deal for me to stand behind it. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, do you know what if he did get his price right now, say a traditional buyer came in, do you know what that number he's going to get at the end of the day?
We're going to have to work it out, but I think it would be around 8,000.
Okay. Well, I will try to beat that by at least $5,000.
Okay. And if you can make it sweet, that would be great. If you want proof that you paid your things on time.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't want him losing his benefits to young family.
Yep. I will send you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, I'm a very.
No, I get it. You're protecting your client. Of course, you should be. And I like that. I will send you my credibility letter, and it will show you what we've done in the past few months. And you can call my past sellers. You can call the past VA people we've closed with. Call the last agents, title companies. That's why I add all that. It's got all their phone numbers, some documents, just to verify who we are. And we're not just some random person trying to buy this house. So yeah, I will send all that. I will try to beat whatever he's gonna make on market by at least 5 grand, just to sweeten the pot for him and keep it more great for him if he's gonna go a creative route and leave his entitlement there. So what is a good email I can send that over to?
WendyG@pinkrealty.com.
I think I've spoken to you before.
Did you call me before on this one?
I don't think
Maybe
it was
the one
this.
I'm thinking
I
of.
don't think it was this property. Because it says it's only been on the market 14 days. But I think I've called a Peak Realty before, I swear.
Big teams. There's only 6 of us, so most likely if it's one of ours, you have. But I mean, I will tell you, I got one of these, and it was the same thing. The notice, performance of deed, the commission, what they pay us. I think it was like 7 grand. I'm like, yeah, no. And then they wanted to close right away, but not, let them stay. So
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it was
very
my offer.
interested. No, look at all. I called him. I said, yeah, I have to present this, but I'm not standing behind it, and I'm recommending my client walk quickly.
Okay.
So, yeah. So put everything in there. I will be leaving shortly, and my client is working nights, so I will not be reaching out to him until this weekend.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Well, I will.
Leave now.
Okay, cool. I will send everything over. I'm gonna beat that whatever he's gonna make on market by 5 grand. We'll pay your 2.5%. We'll pay the closing costs, and then we'll work out the post-closing occupancy just to work on your seller's timeline and keep him happy.
If you can do that, he can post occupancy through December 22nd, would help them. I don't think they'll need that long, but it would help.
Okay.
He is done as of December 16th.
Okay, what I would do is if he were to accept the contract, I would just make closing on or before December 22nd, just to give him that time.
Well, I'd like to close before that
Okay.
and then do post occupancy.
Okay, what I usually do on a post-closing occupancy is do maybe a holdback until he's out of the property. So I'd give him his money and maybe hold back the other commissions or whatever it may be. But that doesn't always happen. Sometimes I just pay everybody out, right? And let him stay in there and keep his money. You get your money, everybody's happy. So it just all depends.
It's a clean deal. I like it to be done. So I'm just going to be real honest with you, because what I would say to him is, you guys aren't going to close till December. And if you're really open to that, keep it on the market and see if we get anything else. And then if it doesn't, I'll continue to.
Okay, if it makes the deal work, we'll close right away and just keep a post-closing occupancy for him.
Okay. Yeah. He wants to know it's done.
Okay.
So, yeah, that would be great.
Okay, sweet. Well, I will shoot over that letter of intent here in the next 15 minutes, and then I'll follow up with you maybe Monday.
Yep, that sounds great. And then I will send you an order. Oh, because you're not going to take over it. You're just, okay, I get you. Yep,
Yep.
Nope, that's perfect. Go ahead. And we'll go from there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Wendy. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. And I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Joey.
Joey? Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, Joey.
Yep. Thanks, Wendy. You have a good one.
Bye-bye.
So there's a little starter kit for you guys if you want to mimic exactly what I just did.
Sweet. And then we are gonna underwrite that and send an offer later. So let's go until 1 o'clock. That's 15 more minutes, give or take, and then we're gonna go ahead and underwrite and send that offer over. And we'll have Joey do that too. So definitely a little bit higher level, right? Like that agent knew the objection. She's heard this a ton of times, right? So for you guys that maybe aren't so confident with those objections, I would just say, no worries. I understand. It sounds like you've gotten a ton of these phone calls. What I'd like to do is at least get an offer in front of you, and someone on my team can call you back and show what ways we can protect the seller. Right. So if you're not confident, right, you don't want to pretend like you know what you're talking about. Just let them know, hey, I'm a little bit new to this. No worries. It sounds like you've gotten a lot of phone calls. Why don't we send an offer and someone on my team will follow up? So great phone call. All right, let's I'm gonna try to make my own phone calls here. So I'm looking at Woodland Circle. Has anybody else tried calling this one? Hopefully you guys saw me typing. Daniel, you did? No, you did? Okay. Okay, 112 days on market. So it's likely they've received this phone call already, but doesn't hurt to give it a shot. So I'm going to mute. If any of you guys get an agent on the phone, feel free just to unmute and we'll hear your conversation. Yeah. This sounds like a co-list. The Tara, I'm not talking to Tara, I'm talking to maybe someone else on her team, maybe her husband.
It was.
It was a rental? Okay, got it. What's got the sellers wanting to get rid of it?
They're just a large investment guru, and they're looking to just liquidate a couple of their properties.
Gotcha. Okay, understood. Yeah, you know, I don't want to beat around the bush on this one. One of the reasons this property, you know, came across my desk is I see it's low equity. Not sure if that's accurate or not, but it looks like they actually owe more than what they're asking on the property. Is that accurate if you know?
I don't know the seller's current financials on it.
Okay.
It's I want to say it's just a pretty big group. They bought it last year for what, 202, 208?
Okay, so maybe my data's could be incorrect. What I'm seeing is they owe 286 and they're listed at 273. So you know,
They
could
did start higher than that though. So I mean, this is one of my coworker, Nathan, one of our listing agents. He deals directly with them, and so he often talks about how they're kind of all over the place with their pricing. So
gotcha. Okay, makes sense. Well, yeah, not sure if you know you guys have ever received this offer, and my data could be incorrect. If it's a large investment group, what I'm seeing is, yeah, I see the owner is an LLC, but somehow they have a VA loan on it. So again, that could be incorrect, but right. So my offer would essentially be above their asking price. What I'd offer is to essentially pay them, you know, maybe $5,000 to $10,000 if the data I'm looking at is correct, and then just take over the payments on their loan. What I'm seeing is they have a 2.9 interest rate. So that's kind of our business model, is we take over low interest rate loans for sellers that might be upside down.
since I have to take over loan amount. Let me shoot Nathan a message, see if he can confirm any of that. So basically it's a subject to.
It's a subject to, correct.
I'm not sure if they will or won't on these because if what you're seeing is correct, they might go for it, but I'm pretty sure most of theirs are all in investment loans, so they're all tied together. So I don't know if they can or not.
Right.
So like I said, I just have to check with Nathan on it. It's the best callback number for you, 303-656-8120.
Yes, sir. Yep. And my name is Dylan.
656. All right, give me a few, Dylan. I'll reach back out to you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
All right, take care, man.
Okay, bye. Yeah, this one's really interesting. I'm guessing our data is wrong here because one, you can't get a VA loan in an LLC. It has to be your primary residence. You have to get it in your name. And then I also see this, $1.6 million in cash. So I don't know if they bought a whole portfolio of homes in cash. So this could very well be wrong. This could be maybe they bought it from this person. Maybe they bought this subject to, who knows? So this one's really interesting. This probably is not a good lead. I just think our data is wrong on PropStream. So this one's probably not a good fit. And that's why I was like a little bit just quicker to the point. I didn't want to beat around the bush about like, what's their motivation? What's their timeline, right? Because I'm like, this just looks really off. And I wasn't even talking directly to the listing agent in the first place anyway. So on to the next one.
Hey Tracy, my name is Stevie Brown. I'm calling about your property on Shaver Drive.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I've been looking at this property. It's a beautiful property. Can you catch me up to speed on it? We've been having our eye on this. Have you had very many offers? I know you guys just did another price cut.
We are actually sending out a counter to be under contract today.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
We are accepting backup though.
Okay.
If you wanted to look at offer.
Okay.
It's a fairly new home. It's technologically upgraded. There's a lot of bells and whistles for the simple safe home system. It's all Apple ready for anyone who has that Apple product. It's a little techy for my liking, but I'm older, so I know how that goes.
Yeah.
The house is in beautiful condition. The backyard has turf that's surrounded by newly placed gravel. It's just a beautiful home. The only reason it was on the market for so long was because we were competing with the new builds in the area, and the builder incentives, which I'm sure you're aware of, have been really crazy lately.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. We've had our eye on it. And being a new home, I think is built in 2021. I didn't think it had very many damages or anything like that.
No, it's well maintained.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. It definitely looks like it fit into our wheelhouse. We'd use it as a rental for sure. Are they needing to move pretty fast? What's the deal with them? What's their story?
He is actually being relocated. He is actually on assignment as of next week, so they are looking to close fairly quickly. The current offer that we have that we're countering today has a close date of October 12th.
Okay. Is it a traditional offer or is it subject to? Tell me what the offer is.
Oh no, this is a traditional finance offer.
Okay, it is. Okay. Yeah, so we do look at the rentals. Are there any restrictions as far as the HOA goes in the rental?
No, there is not.
Okay.
I think the only difference with this one is it has to be a minimum of 30 days for rentals.
Okay.
So I don't know if an Airbnb would work. That's something we'd have to delve into the CCNR.
Okay.
To check out for sure.
All right. Yeah, we wouldn't necessarily use it for a short-term rental. We generally use them for midterm rentals. traveling nurses or corporate rentals. So that would be fine. That's not a big deal. But as an investment property, it does have to pencil out to make a sound investment. I'm sure you can understand that. We do purchase homes in several different ways, through cash, traditional, and other options. And we generally use our cash for, distressed homes or pre-foreclosures. And obviously, this just doesn't fit into that category. It really would fit into our, subject to offer, Tracy. Have you guys been hit with that a lot?
Yes, we
Okay.
have actually.
Okay,
They're really leaning more towards the cash buyout. So if
okay,
you guys wanted to, an LOI with a cash offer, as far
Okay.
as the subject to, they're kind of leaning away from that, especially now that we have an offer on the table.
okay. So let me ask you this, because generally when we do our subject to offers, we can generally put, $5,000 to $15,000 more in the seller's pocket than if they were to sell it traditionally. Because we are paying all closing costs. We do pay your commissions. We do keep that mortgage in place, but we do take over those mortgage payments. And then we do pay out the equity. So, moving forward, we would be responsible for that house. So generally, we're going to be putting more money in their pocket. What kind of cash offer did they get? Do you mind sharing that with me?
They've received cash offers up to $315 as a cash buyout.
Okay.
And like I said, we've just received the traditional purchase that we're countering today with a full financing offer. It's actually higher than list. So
Okay, so it's higher than list. And you guys are at list at 330 now. So that's what you guys are going to counter back at?
no. The offer came in higher than list. We're not countering for the price.
Oh,
It's just some of the
okay. All right. So it came in over less. So what I have, and just kind of help me out here, I have, if they sell at even I had it at 345 when you guys were listing at that 345.9 when I started kind of peeking around at this with their loan in place, it looked like they were going to clear somewhere around 11.5, something like that. So with the offer you have now, can you kind of tell me what they might walk away with? Because I still would like to put an offer in.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, they are entertaining any backup offers.
Okay, yeah.
Right now, I have to finish running the numbers. It's a new offer that just came in yesterday.
Okay.
So we're still running through the numbers.
Okay. Because I really would like to submit an offer where it's going to put more money in their pocket. We generally, hold our homes, I would say on average about 7 years, somewhere in there. And I know that sometimes, clients don't like to do sub two because they're thinking that, oh my God, you're going to be having this in my name forever. But on average, it is about 7 years. But listen, we tell them forever anyways, because you just never know. But we want it to cash flow for sure, just as far as a rental property, and we want to build up that equity. And it looks like this house can do that. So I want to get together with you and see what I can put a great offer in. I don't want to just send over an LOI just to send over an LOI. So I want to put something together that's going to make sense, because even my net sale, right? Since I'm paying all the closing costs, I'm paying your commission, and I'm going to pay out their equity. My net sale is going to be higher than what they're probably getting on this traditional offer. So I definitely want to make it a win-win for them. We also put securities in place that are going to protect them from anything that happens or were to happen. So let me ask you this, Tracy, what is your email address? And I can get that offer over to you.
I can actually send it over to you right now. I can text it to you at this number if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead. Text it to me.
Okay, and let me just verify. The number is 623-565 it's scrolling across my screen, sorry. 8292, correct?
You got it. You got it. Yeah.
I will send you over my contact information. I just finished a home inspection, so I'm kind of trying to catch up on the morning. But you send me over what you want to send over, and then we can further discuss it after.
Okay, so let me just ask you one thing, because I like to send over a seller net sheet and it does a side by side of what a traditional sale and then what a sale from us would be like. So can you at least divulge what the traditional sale is? And then I can show them side by side what that offer would look like versus what my offer would look like?
Sure. I have to pull up all the information though. I believe, and I'm not in front of my computer right at this
That's
time,
not a
so I
problem.
apologize. It was $339
Okay,
with 3% concession,
okay,
and then they wanted a home warranty, which I think is like $750 or something like that.
okay. 3% concessions, okay. And they wanted a home warranty. Okay,
Yeah, for $750.
all right. I think that we might have a deal, Tracy. I think we might have a deal. All right, let's see. Okay, so let's see what we can do to help them out, put them in a better position, and then I'll get that out to you today. And let's talk. Let's say within 24 hours. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Okay. All right. You go take care of your house, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Good job, Stevie. I've set that girl an offer like 3 weeks back.
Did you?
Yeah, I offered them 20K and they rejected it.
Okay. Well,
Just
you
let you know.
never
So
know.
yeah, send it again, but she will, if she puts two and two together, she'll realize we're on the same team because it'll be the same seller net sheet, the same credibility letter. But yeah, she might have forgot, so I'd still send it. But I sent her 20K as a down payment and to pay her commission, and they rejected that. But now they're kind of hurting, so I would send it again.
Cool. Cool.
I do remember that lady though.
You want to now underwrite?
All right, well, I'm gonna underwrite and show you that Wendy person I called on Dooley Lane and show you how I make an offer. You got to make me. Oh, there you go. Give me a second. Share my screen. Okay. Hey, can everyone see this seller net sheet right here? Cool. Okay. So they want, this is 387 trid. And I know the listing agent told me it's 2.5, 2.5. So this up here is going to be 5% realtor commission. Title costs, closing costs, these are both an estimate of like 0.75 and 0.125, which is 1.25% and 0.75%. Inspection. Now I'm not going to beat them up on this one just because the house is pretty nice. I wouldn't see anybody really beat them up, but I'm going to just lower that to like $3 grand. I'm gonna try to get it to where it equals what she told me on the phone. She said they were gonna make $8 grand, right? So she said they owed 363. Okay, so I need to change something here. 0. I need to get it to where they're gonna make $8 grand. So let's just lower this. 5. Okay, there we go. Cool. So they'll make $8 grand as is on market if they sold right now, traditionally. So then I'm gonna come in and beat it by 5 grand. So that's, what was that, 13? Yeah. So I'm gonna come down here, 13 grand. Okay. Cash to seller, 13. There's no carryback. This is a straight subject to. And 360. That's right there. That's wrong. 373. This should update. I just messed mine up, but it's okay. Commission, I'm gonna make sure she's getting 2.5. Boom, 2.5. 9 grand. Title cost, closing costs, we pay all of it. Okay. So now what I do is take a little snippet. If you guys have a HP, you can save it as a doc or take a snippet, but I take a snapshot of it just because it's much easier. Snipping tool. Sure. Okay, now I got that. All right. Let's go to my email now. See, look, she's in my, if you, do you see my screen right now? Does it show Wise Agent? No. Let me reshare my screen so you can see it. New share. Okay. See, look, she's in one of my CRMs already. Of that last girl you talked to, Stevie. Okay. So, anyways, disregard that. One of my sents. Let's see. Who's the last person I sent one of these? Because I have it automated now, so where I don't have to do this every time, but I'm just showing for you guys how you send it. Because now I just go to my little Excel thing and it's pops up. It's like quick, but I'm showing you the old school way. So here, hey James, blah, blah, blah. I grab my little intro that I send to everybody. And you can use this if you'd like. And her name was Becky. Spoke about a probable on the giveaway. So our net sheet. I'll go grab my snippet. Copy. Boom. I like to add this not as an attachment, but like as a picture on the email so they see it right away. Okay, I sell as is, boom, I make 8. I sell with us, I make 13. So it's right in their face. It's not like an attachment. The agent, the seller can see it right away. So I always have that right there. Now I have to go make my letter of intent. This below. Let me reshare this screen now so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Stuff always loads so slow when I'm on a Zoom. Okay. And we've sent you these documents, so if you're wondering what the hell I'm looking at, you have it on the Facebook page. Let's go to my LI somewhere. There you go. I go to my LOI and I just literally replace all this with the new terms. Okay, Dewey Way. Got the seller's name from PropStream. Okay, what was my offer? It was 387. Okay. 387. Down payment was 13. They owe 3. Right? No. Okay, something's wrong. Why does it say that? 373. Okay. We'll pay up to, oops, fix that, 2.5%. So she knows I'm not trying to take a 0.5% away from her. So her name, Okay. Save this sucker. It would load. This stuff takes so long when I'm on a Zoom. Come on now. Here we go. Okay. A lot of this is just technicalities. I got all my LOIs saved in one folder. Should probably do the same so you don't get confused and mix up all your LOIs. Ooh, LOI. Okay. Now go back to my email. Okay. And I just attach everything in there, and you will have all these too if you send in leads. Here we go. Credibility letter, my lender's information, subject to FAQ, and then go to LOIs. Ooh. Oh. Oops, I gotta add all this. Okay, offers folder. Okay, credibility, lender's info. Now, these is what honestly separates us from everybody else. Our credibility letter, which shows a whole bunch of stuff that we've been doing lately. Our lender's information, this works great for VAs. So they could call our lender and verify everything that we're saying because our lender Joseph works with us and all our VAs. And then an FAQ, a frequently asked question sheet. Not a lot of people are sending these when they send their offers, and they just leave the sellers and the agent in the dust because they're going to have a million questions when they look at your offer and probably just deny you just because they don't know what the hell you just sent them. Her email was Wendy. Here she is. Say Julie Way, letter of intent. That's not Julie. Okay, hi Wendy, it's Joe. We spoke about a possible credit transaction, but let's make sure that's all good. And then okay. Boom, send. Now let me just show you what our credibility letter looks like, just so you can, if you send in a deal with us and we make the offer for you, this is what's going to separate you from everybody else. So look, shows everything we've been doing lately. Here's something to close. Here's the HUD. Here's the agent. You can call them. Here's our title company. You can call our title lady. There's one in Arizona. Agent, seller, right? We just have everything in here so they know that we're serious and we're actually doing deals and actually closing. And then here's a proof of funds. So we show we're legit, show we can close, and this is what separates us from everybody else. But I mean, it's as simple as that. That boom, we got an offer sent, just like that. I'm gonna save this just because I know it's not my CRM. But yeah, if you guys got any questions about that, let me know. And if you're on the phone, put that stuff on speaker. Let's hear it.
All right, sweet. So let's go ahead and finish it off with some Q&As. So hopefully that was good for you guys to see how we fill out that net sheet, fill out the letter of intent, all that good stuff. So Amy says, when we find an end buyer, do they submit EMD to your LLC or to the title company? 100% the title company. If I was an end buyer and a wholesaler said, you send the earnest money to me, I would not do that. So it's always the title company, always the escrow. Yep. Sandra, do you have a question?
I do. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Yep.
Great. Okay, so great calls. This is my first time on. So I really enjoyed this. I got a lot out of it. So I have a guy, and I'm wondering now, he's a realtor, his partner's a realtor, so it seems like they're investors, but he does have a property where it's low equity. He's willing to do a subject to, and then he offered me to even do a deal on the other property that he has. Do we work with other investors? Like, is that a good thing or not really?
Yeah, I mean, it's totally fine. It just depends in what capacity you're working with them, right? But 100%, I mean, to be a real estate investor, you have to work with other investors or other real estate agents. So absolutely, yeah.
So would this be something that I can put on the sheet to JV with to kind of, so we can do it together? I can do
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. The more information you can upload, so just let us know like who's involved,
Yes.
what their roles are, all that good stuff. So as much information as you can put, so that way we don't have to ask you a million questions. But yeah, that's something we'd love to look at.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
Right on. Thank you. Jen, you had a question?
Yeah, one on the seller net sheet. Can you talk about the inspection line item and what that number represents?
Yeah, so and really we should change that to concession. That's a concession line item. So in most places across the country, it's a buyer's market. So when a buyer gets property under contract, they're going to do their inspection and they're going to find things wrong with it. So they're going to ask for concessions. They're going to ask for $5,000 off to fix windows or AC units or whatever. And then also a lot of buyers are asking for money back to buy down their interest rate. So we're just guessing. Most of it's an estimation that could be anywhere from 2 to 4%. So that's what that is.
Okay. And then where does the underwriting, because it just went from call to the seller net sheet to where does the underwriting happen and know like what kind of down payment you can make? Is this thing going to cash flow? Where did all that happen? Or you're just
Yeah.
Later.
Good question. Right. We kind of went over that. Yeah. So for us, because we want to just send offers out, we're not looking at ARV. I'm not looking at comparables, what's recently sold. I'm not really looking at rent compared to how much they make, because if they have low equity and we can buy a house for $5,000 and they have a low interest rate, it's a good deal because you can wrap that thing. You can rent it out and still lose a couple $100 a month, but your depreciation, your tax savings are going to outweigh that. So we don't do a ton of underwriting right off the bat. If it's low equity, we just fill out the seller net sheet and see, okay, you're going to make $8,000. Here's an offer for $15,000. And if it's a $300,000 home, we're buying a home for 5% with no credit, no verification. It's probably not our own money. And then we're going to just wholesale that to an investor anyway. So as long as we are getting into the deal for 7% or less, we know typically from just our experience that we can find a buyer for that.
Cool. All right. Makes total sense. Thank you.
Yeah. And then, we are letting our buyers do the underwriting. So we know that it will sell. We're just going to let our buyers do their own underwriting. And then once they're ready to move forward, they're ready. So sweet. Robert.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I've learned a lot. It's been a very rich time spent here. But and we went through several deals here, and I know that almost every deal would require an earnest money deposit. That probably is standard with each and every deal. But in order of priority, or how do you work it with proof of funds, the LOI, and the LOI? Is that with each deal you should get proof of funds lined up? And with each deal, should you have be sending a letter of intent out?
Yeah, good question. A proof of funds is not always necessary. We just send it out just because we have it, so might as well. Most, I would say 80%, if not 90% of the time, agents never even ask for a proof of funds.
Oh,
You will
okay.
probably get that about 1 in 10. If you're dealing with multifamily, you'll get that 100 times out of 100.
So the bigger, the more likely proof of funds would be required.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Like if we're buying their house for 15,000, we're paying the agent 5,000. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, they're probably not too concerned with a proof of funds above 20,000. And then the next part of your question, remind me again.
The letter of intent.
Yes. So it's funny. Pace says this during the Elephant Challenge. He says, do not use letter of intents for single family. We just touched on this last week. I don't know if you caught that or not, but you know, he says letter of intents are more used for multifamily, which is true. But for us, in our experience, letters of intent work for single family. So we just disagree with Pace on that. They're easier for us to fill out. They're easier for the sellers and agents to read. They're quicker, easier. We can negotiate back and forth quicker and easier. So we prefer to use them as opposed to sending a 16-page long subject to contract and an addendum. It's a lot easier to understand and all that good stuff. So once they're interested, then we'll send a full purchase and sale agreement with a subject to addendum. So. Okay.
And lastly, I noticed that Joey went over the credibility letter. It was really a lot of clarity there, but is that also standard with each deal?
So for us, we do send a credibility letter. To be honest, that is how we stand out amongst all of the other phone calls that these agents are getting. Is a lot of the times they're just getting verbal offers. And then a lot of times they're getting just LOIs written on, you know, in an email. They're not even a template. They're not a PDF. And then, our credibility letter really makes it stand out, as well as the seller net sheet really paints that picture. So we send that credibility letter out. Unfortunately, we can't share that, just give that to you guys. But if you JV with us, that will be a document we send with our offer. So
excellent. Thank you.
Right on. Thanks, Robert. Cam, what's up, brother? I think you're muted. Hey, let me unmute you. You're good now. I got you.
All right, cool. What's going on? How you guys doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm awesome. So I submitted a lead. Actually, I think it was the lead on, remember I was talking about that guy from the company from New York with those buildings.
Yeah.
So it's actually, so I spoke to an agent, it's owned by LLC, and the building was on, it had caught fire. So that's what they're doing the renovations for, to put it back on market. That's why it's vacant. They're getting rid of it because it doesn't fit their portfolio. And then I think their loan is like 1.4, but they're asking 3.4 or 3.5 million on the thing. So yeah, so I submitted the lead. So I just wanted to know, what do you think about like that from whatever it is that you heard?
Yeah. So, and then once you submitted the lead, you should have gotten an email back from either Robin or Linda. That's, you don't have to reply to it. It'll just tell you who your lead manager is. It's most likely either Robin or Linda. And so they're going to review that and then probably get in contact with you to figure out what the next step is. And then it will send an offer. And it most likely will be a creative offer where we take over that loan, put a down payment, and then maybe they finance the rest of their equity. Who knows if they'll even entertain that option, but that's probably the next step for that one is, hey, let's just get an offer in front of you and see if there's any interest at all. So
yeah, so I told him I was going to get an offer in front of him, and also he's familiar with subject to and creative finance and all that. He said he gets it all the time, so he was up for it. So I guess he said just depending on what it is, the terms are and everything, it's possible that we can move forward with that. So what I'll do is now I'll just continue that list that you gave us, and I'll call, and then I'll submit those leads.
Beautiful, man. Sounds like a plan. Awesome. Thanks, Cam. All right, brother. Daniel.
Hey, thanks for doing this. You mentioned before something about 7%, that if you can get it for less than 7% of, I guess, you get in for less than 7%, you know that you have an end buyer for this. Can you get into that a little deeper?
Yeah, great question. So I'm sure some of you guys have heard this. If you want to get into wholesaling, the first step is not to find a good lead, it's to find buyers, right? So that's what we did. We found buyers in sub 2 and we asked them, hey, what is a good deal to you? What do you look for? And 90% of buyers in sub 2, they want their deals where the entry fee is a total of 10%, 10% of the asking price. So 300,000, for example, they want their entry fee at 30,000. 90% of sub 2 creative buyers follow that guideline where their entry fee needs to be at 10% and they want their interest rates to be below 4.5%, for example. So we know if we can lock a deal up for 7%, we can resell it for 10%. As long as the interest rate's good, the home's in good, decent condition, all that good stuff, you know, a ton of other factors, but 10% entries tend to be where most creative buyers buy deals. So,
I mean, but aren't these typically houses that are going for more than what they're asking? That's why there's more than what they're worth. That's why they're sitting on the market for a while. So
yeah,
is there some, I mean, I guess you're checking with the buyer before you're actually closing on it to make sure that they're really going to buy it instead of you locking it up. I mean, instead of going through the transaction.
Yeah, so not exactly. I mean, because we've done it so many times, we tend to know what numbers a buyer will buy it at. So, for example, exactly like you said, I have a property in Pueblo that has been listed at 350,000 and it's not selling because the sellers owe 340,000. So we offer them like $8,000. We also offer the agent 2.5%, so roughly $8,000. So and then we try to add 15,000 on top of that, roughly 14,000 to keep the entry at 34,000, roughly 10%. But after we add all those fees, right? So they owe 340,000. We're going to give the sellers 8,000, the agent 8,000, and then we add 14,000 on top of that. We're now trying to sell this property at 370,000 when it was sitting on the market and not selling at 350. So it's been a tougher deal to sell. We've had to drop our assignment fee down. So absolutely. And it just all depends, right? Like if the interest rate's in a 2.5, you can probably sell it for way more than what it's worth and make and probably get over 10%. So it all just depends. Also, if it's in a great area, if it's like a brand new home, or maybe there's already a tenant in there, right? So many different factors. And it only is just going to come from experience. And that's why we offer the JV. And, you know, we have the buyers. We know generally I will never ask a buyer, hey, would you buy this before I lock it up? We used to do that. And then sure enough, we couldn't lock it up at the terms that we thought we could. And we're just wasting our time that way. So it's better to lock it up and then try to find your buyer. And if you can't, back out, get your earnest money back. But fortunately, every deal I would say 95% of deals we lock up, we're successful at selling. So
Thanks.
yeah, right on. Yeah, good question, Daniel. Stevie.
Yeah, Melody Salceda is trying to ask a question. I don't think she knows how to find the raise hand button, so I thought I'd talk to her.
Yeah, what do you got, Melody?
Thank you so much. I actually didn't. I was trying to look for that raise hand button. I couldn't find it.
It's over in the more. It's over in the more tab. I don't know why it is this time, but it is. But there you go.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Sure.
My question is, after you get a house subject to, there's an existing insurance on it. Do you ask the existing insurance to add you to it, and will that call the loan due or might trigger it? If not, then do you get your own insurance, and then do you get your own insurance with your own company? So now you're paying out two insurance companies.
Good question. So there's different ways you can do it. In our experience, the best way to do it is at the time of close. So at the closing table, you will add you as the buyer, whoever's the buyer, as an additional insured on their current policy. And because you're making the mortgage payments, you're the one paying that. So it's no extra cost out of the seller's pocket. We do that just because we don't want to immediately close and then swap insurance. There's a possibility that could raise a red flag with the lender. So what we do is we close and then add ourselves as an additional insured on their policy and then let the dust settle. So after 6 weeks to 2 months, then we'll get our own policy with us listed as the primary insured. We'll add the sellers as an additional insured to that policy and then get rid of their old one. But you have to make sure you have the right insurance guy. So we use the same guy that Pace uses for his insurance, because not every insurance guy is going to know the right way to do it. Because if you do it wrong, one, you may not be covered, or two, you might raise a red flag with the bank.
Are you able to give that insurance company to us, or do we know that?
Yeah, it's Steadily Insurance is the name of the company. That's who we use, Steadily.
Steadily Insurance. So if I'm understanding you correctly, at the time of closing, you add yourself as an additional insurance on the old insurance. You wait till the dust settles for about 6 weeks to a month. And so then you add your own through Steadily Insurance. You drop the other insurance company. Is that correct?
You got it. Yep, 100%. And we'll add the sellers as an additional insured on our policy, the new one.
And then they become an additional insurance because we're the primary ones. Okay.
Precisely,
Thank you.
yep.
That's what I was always wondering. I appreciate you.
Yeah, good question, Melody. Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Jen says, why do you suggest sending 2 options in the LOI? Early training suggests only send 1 option, or some coaches say do not pitch creative until cash is denied. So why include cash at that point? We will only send cash if they actually have enough equity and they've mentioned to us, right, that they would accept a lower cash offer. So typically we only send 1 LOI, 1 offer, the creative finance subject to whatever it may be. But if they say, hey, send us 2 offers, which I think that agent said, like, hey, we'd also be interested in your cash offer as well. That's when we'll do that. But typically we just send that 1. Daniel, we do. Yep. Daniel says, do you have to add the bank as an insurance too? You do. Yeah. So the bank's also listed as an additional insured. 100%. All good questions. Right on, guys. Well, I filled in the ash as well. Yeah. And I don't want to insult them with a cash offer, especially if it's lower than what they owe. Anyways, they can't even accept it, and then you're just going to insult them. So yeah, we typically don't send a cash offer unless they have enough equity and they're open to that. So 100%. Sweet, guys. Well, we're going to call it there. I have to make some phone calls and get back to it. So we appreciate you guys for showing up. As always, please join the Facebook group. Please subscribe to Angie's YouTube channel. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a group photo. So if all of you guys could turn your cameras on for us and hold up a peace sign, we're going to take a group photo. I'd encourage you guys to also bust your cameras out and take a photo as well too. So let's see it. Everybody say cheese. Right on. All right. Thank you guys so much. Lastly, the best way you can help us out is by shouting us out. We're always trying to grow the Elephant Challenge, bring new people into real estate investing. So if you guys don't mind, if you could shout us out on Facebook, the Circle platform, wherever, say, hey, I joined a Herd of Profit Zoom. These guys are amazing. Whatever you say, as long as it's nice, we appreciate good feedback. So thank you guys so much for showing up. And
well, before you end it, Dylan, here's a little update on that phone I had. You just called me back and they verbally accepted it. So let's go.
There you go, guys. It works. So right on. We have our next Zoom on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. So hopefully we can update you guys on that Zoom and let you know we got that deal under contract or not. But that Tuesday Zoom is just a Q&A. So feel free to come and just raise your hand. We're just going to be answering questions all day. So excited to see you guys there, and hopefully you guys have a good weekend. Peace. See you guys.